I kindly request each one of you to close your eyes and imagine Mother and Sri Aurobindo inside your being. And we are going to listen from within the readings of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. As I said earlier, we all gathered here as a single body of Divine Mother. So we carry the harmony, peace, joy, being under the care, under the shade of Divine Mother through the spirit of Aurobindo. Let us begin with chant of Om 5 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Aravindaya. Om Anandamayi. Om Chaitanyamayi. Om Satyamayi. Om Parame. O Lord, with full faith, love and surrender, we are ready for Thy victory. O Lord, with full faith, love and surrender, we are ready for Thy victory. Om, peace, peace, peace. Mantras of the Mother. September 17th. We must watch over our thoughts. A bad thought is the most dangerous of thieves. With my blessings, Mother. 18th September. It is the Lord who sets all in motion from the depths of the being. It is His will that directs, His force that acts. With my blessings, Mother. Works of Sri Aurobindo. Short poems. A God's Labor. I will read the poem in 4 lines and we have a gap. If you try to comprehend the lines, you can, or just surrender those lines as a mantric lines inside you. A God's labor. I have gathered my dreams in a silver hair between the gold and the blue, and wrapped them softly and left them there, my jewel dreams of you. I had hoped to build a rainbow bridge, marrying the soil to the sky, and so in this dancing planet midst the moods of infinity. But too bright were our heavens, too far away, too frail their ethereal stuff, too splendid and sudden, our light could not stay. The roots were not deep enough. He who would bring the heavens here must descend himself into clay, and the burden of earthly nature bear and tread the dolorous way. Coercing my Godhead, I have come down here on the sordid earth, ignorant, laboring, human grown twixt the gates of death and birth. I have been digging deep and long mid a horror of filth and myrrh, a bed for the golden river's song, a home for the deathless fire. I have labored and suffered in matter's night to bring the fire to man. But the hate of hell and human spit o'er my mead since the world began. For man's mind is the dupe of his animal self, hoping its lusts to win. He harbors within him a grisly elf, enarmed of sorrow and sin. The grey elf shudders from heaven's flame and from all things glad and pure. Only by pleasure and passion and pain his drama can endure. All around is darkness and strife, for the lamps that men call suns are but halfway gleams on the stumbling life cast by the undying ones. All around is darkness and strife, for the lamps that men call suns are but halfway gleams on the stumbling life cast by the undying ones. Man lights his little torches of hope that lead to a failing hedge. A fragment of truth is his widest scope, and in his pilgrimage the truth of truths men fear and deny, the light of lights they refuse. To ignorant gods they lift their cry, or a demon altar choose. All that was found must again be sought. Each enemy slain revives. Each battle forever is fought and refought through vistas of fruitless lives. My gaping wounds are 1,001, and the Titan kings assail, but I cannot rest till my task is done and wrought the eternal will. How they mock and sneer, both devils and men. Thy hope is Chimera's head, painting the sky with its fiery stain. Thou shalt fall and thy work lie dead. Who art thou that babblest of heavenly ease and joy and golden room to us who are waves on inconscient seas and bound to life's iron doom? This earth is ours, a field of night for our petty flickering fires. How shall it brook the sacred light or suffer a God's desires? Come, let us slay him and end his course. Then shall our hearts have release from the burden and call of his glory and force and curve of his wide, wide peace. But the God is there in my mortal breast, who wrestles with error and fate and tramples a road through mire and waste for the nameless immaculate. A voice cried, "Go where none have gone. Dig deeper, deeper, yet till thou reach the grim foundation stone and knock at the keyless gate." I saw that a falsehood was planted deep at the very root of things, where the grey sphinx God's riddles sleep on the dragon's outspread wings. I left the surface gods of mind and life's unsatisfied seas and plunged through the body's alleys blind to the nether mysteries. I have delved through the dumb earth's dreadful heart and heard her black mass's bell. I have seen the source whence her agonies part and the inner reason of hell. Above me the dragon murmurs moan and the goblin voices flit. I have pierced the void where thought was born. I have walked in the bottomless pit. On a desperate stair my feet have trod, armored with boundless peace, bringing the fires of the splendor of God into the human abyss. He who I am was with me still. All veils are breaking now. I have heard his voice and borne his will on my vast untroubled brow. The gulf twixt the depths and the heights is bridged, and the golden waters pour down the sapphire mountain rainbow ridged and glimmer from shore to shore. Heaven's fire is lit in the breast of the earth, and the undying suns here burn. Through a wonder cleft in the bounds of birth, the incarnate spirits yearn. Like flames to the kingdoms of truth and bliss, down a gold-red stairway, when the radiant children of paradise, clarioning darknesses end. A little more, and new life's doors shall be carved in silver light, with its aureate roof and mosaic floors, in a great world bare and bright. I shall live my dreams in their argent air, for in a raiment of gold and blue there shall move on the earth, embodied and fair, the living truth of you. The mother on herself. One day, every day I used to meditate with Sri Aurobindo. He used to sit on one side of a table and I on the other on the veranda, and one day in this way, in meditation, I entered, how to put it? I went up very high, entered very deep, or came out of myself. Well, whatever one may say does not express what happened. These are merely ways of speaking. I reached a place or a state of consciousness from which I told Sri Aurobindo just casually and quite simply, India is free. It was in 1920. Then he put to me a question, how? And I answered him, without any fight, without a battle, without a revolution. The English themselves will leave, for the condition of the world will be such that they won't be able to do anything else except go away. It was done. I spoke in the future when he asked me the question, but they were I had seen. I said, India is free. It was a fact. No, India was not free at that time. It was 1920. Yet it was there. It had been done. And it happened in 1947. That is to say, from the external physical point of view, I saw it 27 years in advance, but it had been done. At the beginning of my present earthly existence, I came into contact with many people who said that they had a great inner aspiration and urge towards something deeper and truer, but that they were tied down, subjected, slaves to that brutal necessity of earning their living, and that is they weighed them down so much, took up so much of their time and energy that they could not engage in any other activity, inner or outer. I heard this very often. I saw many poor people. I don't mean poor from the monetary point of view, but poor because they felt imprisoned in material necessity, narrow and deadening. I was very young at the time, and I always used to tell myself that if ever I could do it, I would try to create a little world. Oh, quite a small one, but still a small world where people would be able to live without having to be preoccupied with food and lodging and clothing and imperative necessities of life, so as to see whether all the energies freed by this certainty of a secure material living would turn spontaneously towards the divine life and the inner realization. Well, towards the middle of my life, at least what is usually the middle of a human life, the means was given to me and I could realize this, that is, create such conditions of life. Sri Aurobindo's Life Divine, Chapter 10, Conscious Force. Does the range of what we can call consciousness cease with the plant? With that in which we recognize the existence of a sub-animal life. But there is no reason to suppose that the gamut of life and consciousness fails and stops short in that which seems to us purely material. The development of recent research and thought seems to point to a sort of obscure beginning of life, and perhaps a sort of inert or suppressed consciousness in the metal and in the earth and in other inanimate forms, or at least the first stuff of what becomes consciousness in us may be there. Necessarily, in such a view, the word consciousness changes its meaning. It is no longer synonymous with mentality, but indicates a self-aware force of existence, of which mentality is a middle term. Below mentality, it sinks into vital and material movements which are for us subconscient. Above, it rises into the supramental, which is for us the superconscient. Prayer. Dear Mother, let our prayer rises to Thee always with the same aspiration to live Thy love, to radiate Thy love with such potency and effectiveness that all may feel fortified, regenerated, and illumined by our contact. To have power to heal life, to relieve suffering, to generate peace and calm confidence, to efface anguish and replace it by the sense of one true happiness, the happiness that is founded in Thee and never fades. O Lord, O marvelous friend, O all-powerful Master, penetrate all our being, transfigure it till Thou alone livest in us and through us. Let us offer this prayer to the Spirit of Aurobindo, our sweet Mother, as we gather under her love. Let us spread the love, peace and joy to people around us and to the whole humanity as a whole. Let us concentrate for a second in silence. And we thank dear Mother, and let us offer ourselves as a flower at her feet. And we chant with gratitude of our collective collaboration and the beautiful network of oneness and conscious gathering by chanting Om 5 times and offer it to the Divine Mother who resides in us. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Lord. Thanks, my dear other selves, and greetings from Aurobindo. Thanks for being with us.